Welcome back to the channel, everybody. Today I've got some more rock that I bought here recently at the last Gem and Mineral show, the powwow out in Quartzsite, Arizona. These are dinosaur bones that I bought from like 3 different vendors. So let's walk through them real quick and see what I ended up with, and I'll be cutting these here in the near future. So we'll take a look at them. And again, you can ignore the prices that are on these. That's what they were asking, but typically you can get these for less than what they're asking. So they have a polished face on this one, but that's really just to show what they look like. I'll definitely be cutting this one up, at least a slab or two, to get some cabs out of, because I really like this banding, or the cell structure and the colors. It's going to get pretty thin, so maybe about here I'll quit and just do a face polish on that, sell that as a specimen, but I can get a few cabs out of this first part, maybe 2 or 3. But yeah, I really like the color and the cell structure in this one. Very cool. Let's walk through. This guy here is another one in that same vendor. Again, face polished. Most of it's rough. And again, don't worry about the prices. Not what I paid. But this is a nice color. It's a bigger piece, and I like the color better and the cell structure. It's kind of peaches and whites, oranges, that kind of thing going on in this one. But maybe I'll cut this first piece off, since he's already kind of semi-polished it. Keep that as a specimen. Maybe I won't, maybe I'll cab that too, but the rest of this is pretty thick. I'll probably slab it from here to here, and then keep this piece as a heel. But yeah, those are really nice structures with really cool color. Now, I like the ones that are a little bit different than the majority of the stuff, but I don't buy a lot of these because this one was a little more pricey than what I would typically pay for a piece this size, but I really like that color in the cells. It'll make nice cabs. Okay, here's a pretty cool piece. So obviously somebody slabbed this one already. They came at it from both directions, and this is what was left. Rather than trying to slab the rest of it, they typically just get rid of the chunks like this. So let me get this one wet and we'll see what it looks like. Okay, so this one, again, it's got pretty neat coloring and cell structure going on, which is why I picked this one up. It does have a little bit of fracturing around the edge here, but I can get 2 or 3 slabs out of this. So typically what I'll do is I'll glue this to a piece of 2x4, then I'll put the 2x4 in the vise and just cut the rest of the slabs, and then cut that last piece right through the glue in the wood there, and then shave the rest of the wood off with a razor blade. But yeah, I can definitely get at least 3 slabs out of that. But yeah, I love the color in that. It's kind of a yellowish. this one will definitely make some nice cabs. All right, let's see what's next. Let's grab this piece. So you can tell somebody was cutting this one and probably had a mishap. And rather than putting it back in and repositioning it, they just said, I'm done with it. But let me get it wet. Look at the color in this one. So you got some really nice colors in the cells, and then you got that dark black webbing in between them. That will make some really nice cabs. So again, I'll glue this to a 2x4, and I'll set it up to where this will be the last cut before I cut it off the 2x4, and then inch it back for each of the other cuts. Probably keep one heel. So I should be able to get all the way up to here and then cut that last one right through where they were cutting last. Although it looks a little thicker on that side than this side. But definitely make some really nice cabochons out of that. Here's a big old chunk. Again, you can see the agatized cell structure all the way around this one. Which is a good sign. It's going to be a fairly good stone all the way to the end. Let's get it wet. So, nice stone. Not the best color, but I love the cell structure and the it's got a lot of contrast in it, and the white webbing is really cool. So I think this one's gonna again make some really nice cabs. But we'll cut it and we'll see. You know, I've got a ton of Dinosaur Bone already slabbed up, but most of it's browner colors. So again, here's a nice looking piece on the edge. All the way around, you can see the cell structure. You can see somebody did a little bit of a cut on that end and a cut on this end. Now this isn't a good piece as far as color goes, but I don't remember what I paid for this one, but it wasn't a whole lot. It's not real superb or anything, but it's got nice contrast in the cell structure on this side, mostly a grayer color, but it does have some color right here. So, I mean, I'll get a good cab out of that section. Now, again, I don't know, but it looks like that color starts to get wider at this end, and this gets a little smaller. So I'm hoping it gets better. I'll get more of that. Let's get the other end wet and see what it looks like. Yeah, they did good job cutting it, but it looks like the color almost takes up that whole back. So I think it's going to get better as I start to slab this one. And I think one cab out of that section off of the first slab will probably pay for what I paid on this. And it's really nice right through here. Gorgeous. All right. Let's grab this big old piece. So that's not what I paid for it. All this stuff was weighed by the pound, and we bartered on price afterwards. So again, it's a big solid piece, except it does have a little bit of fracturing on this corner up by the price tag. Doesn't have the best color, but I've cut enough of this to know that this is going to be fairly translucent once I slab it. And these are going to make really cool looking spiderweb type cell structure dinosaur bone cabs. And once you get a little light going into these, the color gets a little bit better. So again, big old piece, be able to get a lot of slabs out of this, and it'll make a lot of nice, really nice cabs. Okay. All right, next up. So this one's a little bit lighter. So let me get it wet and we'll see what the colors look like. So this one's got kind of a lighter orangish reddish color to it. And personally, I like this section right here better than this. It's got more contrast in it. But this whole thing is nice. And most people actually like the redder colors. But this is gonna make a bunch of slabs, that's for sure. And I'm looking at the back of it and I'm like, yeah, it's gonna have pretty good color all the way through it. Might be a little porous on the end. So I'll cut back to a certain point and leave the heel if it starts to get porous. But this is gonna make some good cabs as well. Big old piece. Okay, so those ones that I had that were polished, here's another one from that same vendor. This is kind of a blue-gray translucent spiderweb pattern. So I'll probably cut this top part off, just keep that as a specimen. And then definitely get some really cool cabs out of that one. Love the color. And again, it's going to be translucent. So you can tell on the edge, you can see some light going through it. It's going to be pretty cool looking. And it's a pretty big piece. All right. Two left here. Next up, I got a smaller piece here. It does have a fracture right here. Otherwise, it looks pretty solid. And I love the color. Going almost all the way to the back here. I think this white color here is probably just from bleaching in the sun. So let's get it wet and see what we got. Yeah. So the colors, again, are only going to be right around the edge probably. But I really love the contrast in this. And again, these make really cool cabs. These cells are going to be translucent. You got kind of that white webbing. Pretty cool looking. I'll get a few slabs out of that. Super cool. All right, last up. Got a decent sized piece here. A little bit of a cut here and a little bit of a cut here. Again, I probably had a fracture, it broke off, and somebody decided they weren't cutting it. Let's take a look and see what it looks like. Pretty solid piece though. Again, this top cut's pretty gnarly, but I can see some nice cell structure and good color in that. And I think this is going to be really good. Yeah, look at that. Goes all the way through. So, again, turn this one around and it looks solid agate all the way around. Big, heavy piece. So, yeah, I'll get a bunch of really nice slabs out of that. So, definitely going to be making some dinosaur bone cabs this year. That's a really good dinosaur bone to work with. So, watch for upcoming videos where I cut some of these on my 16-inch saw. And we'll do some slab to cab videos out of these. Alright, well, thanks for watching, everybody. We'll catch you on the next video. Bye.